Hey guys, what's going on? Oh, there's so many things we could talk about. What's going on? How you guys doing? So, as anticipated, I didn't get anything done today. So, we will continue line arting until I'm finished. Mostly because I am a scrub. Yeah, I'm okay is kind of what I expected from you just because you've been struggling with that art today. You've been having a little bit of a rough time. You'll figure it out. We'll get you there. I guess they are kind of weird and smooth. Alright. I wasn't sure how I felt about these roots, but they're alright. It could be. It could be from a children's book. Bet you're sad to leave all your pets though, right? Mage, I know that feeling. I was there. You know, at the end of the weekend, too. I have to go back to work tomorrow. I'm so not ready. I'm gonna push you guys back a little bit. You're a little close to where I'm leaning into, so hopefully that doesn't affect my voice volume too much. Turn this music down just a smidge also, because I'm trying to control the volume a little bit. Direcrow, that sounds amazing. What kind of bird do you have? You are totally okay. You take as long as you need to respond. Bird bath is much more important. They are shin guards. I probably would, to be honest. I'm also gonna look that up because I don't know what that is. Definitely spelled it wrong, but Google knew what I meant. Oh, it's so cute! Oh, look at their cute little face! Oh, they're so great! I've never heard of that. I've never heard of a scaly-breasted lorikeet. Oh, she's so cute! Assuming that she looks anything like these pictures, she's adorable. Well, good thing you got them all settled at least until you can get back from your yeah, get back from school. I lost my words there for a second. Sorry, I was overwhelmed by the cuteness of burbs. I want one of these. By the way, since we're talking about birds, I want one of these so bad. They're so great. I've met like 4 of them in my lifetime, and they are just the sweetest birds. Like, they're so calm. I want one. So, maybe someday. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I won't chicken out and not get one, but... Because, like, I'm genuinely concerned about people, like, judging me for having this, like, you know, big, complicated bird, but... They're so fun, and they're so, like, chill, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how Direcrow's bird is, but I've never... Oh, it's an eclectus. Eclectus do fine in pairs or single. They're not like a... They're not one like you said, the Crimson Rosella that don't, that need to have a mate. They're, you know, either or. I want a male, though, because they're green. I am the artsyaxolotl, and I will always have an axolotl. Just, I would also like to have a burb. I can have a burb also. I've been doing a lot of research on them over, like, at first I did a whole lot of research all at once, and now I've just kind of been reading, you know, I follow forums and stuff, and just read what I can about them all the time. I've tried to interact with, like, you know, go out and meet people who have them. So someday maybe I'll do it, you know, not anytime soon. First of all, because this apartment complex does not allow me to have birds, but also just because I don't think I'm ready yet. I don't think I'm ready to have an animal that needs as much care as a bird, so maybe someday. I'm not really in a position in my life to be able to have a complicated animal like that. Axolotls are easy to take care of because they're stupid. And as I've always said, they're very cute, and I love them a lot. They're one of my favorite animals, but they are quite unsmart. Anyway, so how's everybody doing? The Animal Crossing music just came on, and it made me think. I got a new phone today. My mom got me a new phone for my birthday because my phone's a piece of shit. And, now I can play the Animal Crossing cell phone game. So if you guys want my friend code, I'll, post it in the Discord. But, I've been messing around with that today a little bit. It's pretty cute. I kind of feel like, Animal Crossing was almost maybe meant to be a cell phone game. Like, I don't know, more so than any other game, Animal Crossing kind of feels like that's the genre it fits, if that makes sense. Stop sign, it's not so much about learning more responsibility, like, I think I could be responsible for it, it's that I want to make sure I have as much knowledge as I can possibly get before I make that decision. And also, I'm not really in a financial position to have any more pets. It's not that I'm struggling, it's just that if I add any more pets to my, you know, roster, especially one that has such a specific diet, like an eclectus, which I'm gonna close the box in the back now because we don't need it, then I might start to struggle monetarily a little bit. So I'm just not really in a position financially or emotionally to deal with that. Someday, you know, someday I'll do it. Yeah, kind of what Nugget said. You know, I don't think, at least at the point that I'm at, it's not so much needing responsibility. I mean, I maintain, I keep and maintain a saltwater aquarium, I keep and maintain an axolotl, I keep and maintain a cat, like, I'm able to be responsible for an animal, it's just that I don't have the time at the moment to keep a bird. And birds do require a lot of attention, so I'm not in a position, time-wise or financially, to be able to have one, and that's fine, you know, that I accept the fact that I'm just not in a position for that. I'm not the kind of person that's gonna run out and get an animal just because I want it. You know, when I got my cat, I made sure that I was in a financial position to be able to do it, and it just happened that I found the right cat right away, but I did think about it really hard and made sure that I could afford to make that decision, because if I couldn't afford to take care of her easily, then unfortunately I wouldn't have been able to do it. That was just the bottom line. I'll have to do a stream one of these nights for, just the regular Animal Crossing games, because I spent a lot of time making my Animal Crossing town, like, the way I wanted it. I used, the patterns, like the clothing patterns, to place tiles on the ground, so my whole town has, like, streets and stuff, like cobblestone roads all over the place for you to follow, and, I used an editor online because my 3DS is hacked so that I can stream with it, so I was able to take my Animal Crossing file and put it into an editor, and I moved my buildings around to where I wanted them, so my town's really, like, symmetrical, and I mean, it looks like it was hacked. It doesn't look natural. Like, it looks like I messed with it. It would probably take you ages to get the town to look how I did it. You could do it. Like, the stuff that I did, you could do legitimately. It's just, I didn't put anything where it would be, like, in the legal placement, you know? Like, nothing is placed where it should not be placed. It's just that you would have had to spend hours trying to reset your game so that your buildings ended up exactly where I put them. And then you'd have to cover the whole town with tiles except for the spot where you wanted each villager to move in and invite each villager individually one at a time until that you got the right one. And you could do it legitimately, but I didn't. But I edited my whole town so it's exactly the way I want it. All the villagers I got on my own, I have all their amiibo cards, so if they ever try to leave me, I can bring them back. And, yeah, so I'm pretty proud of my town. Yeah, you'd have to have, like, godlike luck for that, too. I would never have the patience for it, which is why I decided to hack my game instead, because I just didn't have the patience to do it, and I also didn't want to restart my game because I had already unlocked quite a bit of stuff. I didn't use any of the hacking tools to, like, unlock stuff. The only thing I unlocked that I should not have had was, I unlocked all of the, I used a cheat code to unlock all of the, what are they called? Like the lighthouse and the benches and stuff, whatever they call those. I used a cheat code to unlock all of those because my animals would not suggest the police department. I could not get them for the life of... I spent hours doing that trick where you go out in the water and wait till your timer goes to like 5 minutes or something and then climb back out of the water and then go talk to somebody. I did that trick for hours and for weeks, and they would not... They suggested every bench under the sun, but they would not suggest the police department. So I finally just unlocked all of the... what are those called? What are they called? Oh my god, it's gonna bug me. Public Works projects. Thank you, Crow. You beat me to it. Yeah. So I unlocked I cheated and unlocked all the Public Works projects because I got tired of waiting for them to suggest that. But no, they are not particularly smart at all. My favorite villager, and if you guys follow me on Tumblr, you probably know this story, but my favorite villager in the whole town, hands down, is Igly. If you guys don't know who Igly is, this motherfucker, he is the best. I love this penguin. This penguin is my favorite character in the game right now. He calls me Brosif. And Dude Bro, even though I'm a girl in the game, like, I didn't make my kid, but he calls me Lady Bro. And, he's a jock type, so he's constantly talking about how, I'm gonna go run a marathon, and I wanna go I should come over sometime, we should do some push-ups in your living room. But he's, like, fat. He's, like, a fat penguin, and I love him. He tries his best, and I just think it's great. Hey, look at that, the line art's done. And I just adore him, but also for a while, and he stopped doing it finally, but at one point, when I was doing the trick to try to get them to suggest the public work project for the police department. Hey, Rachel. When I was trying to get them to suggest the public work project for the police station, every single time Igly had something to say to me. Like, he got the little bloop over his head and he wanted to talk to me. Every single time it was a shirt. He gave me a t-shirt every time. I have no idea what in his programming told him that I was supposed to get a t-shirt every time, but he would not give me anything but t-shirts. The other animals gave me, like, you know, stupid clothing and whatever. Like, they gave me, like, furniture and fruit and whatever, but for whatever ungodly reason, Igly decided that shirts, everything was gonna be a shirt. And it just cracked me up. Bam is great, too. I like Bam. I don't have Bam in my town, though. Sorry. I have an eclectic... I have an eclectic collection of animals in my town. How's it going, Rachel? This is so fun that our time zones are lining up better now so you can come hang out with us. Rachel lives in the only state in the United States that does not have daylight savings time, so some days during the year, things are easier for her. Oh, should probably uncut off the edge there. That would be good. Actually, it's one of two. Sorry for revealing your location there. So, yeah, that's why Igly's my favorite character. And I enjoy him, and I'm really sad he's not in the Pocket Camp thing, so... Modify, that's what I was looking for. Oh, are we getting our daily dose of Binding of Isaac? Yes, we are. And then... background nonsense? It is a different song, but it is our daily dose of Binding of Isaac. So... oh, Kitty is joining us. Pet cam. I'd have to, like, mount it to the top of my Cintiq, though, because I have nowhere else to put a cat cam. I'm hoping that since the window is... the blinds are up, and the blinds are up, and the blanket is down, so she should settle on top of the blanket and not bother us. Just in case don't get the save button. Well, drying off is the fun part because you get to splash. Yep, the drying off is the most fun because you get to shake all over everyone. Nope, put that down. Computer, please stop. Aw, that's adorable. Shay has been surprisingly open to me touching her and holding her today, despite the fact that I have now twice held her down and put, you know, scary, gross drops in her ears. She got I don't know if I told you guys that yesterday. She has an ear infection, and so I have to put drops in her ears twice a day, and she does not appreciate that, but for some reason she still wants me to hold her, so she must not hold it against me. She must understand that I have to do it even though she doesn't like it. Color seems off. I like the blue better. Slightly blue color. I'll make it darker if it seems like it needs it, because it might. Depends on what the shadows end up doing to his colors, but for right now I'm gonna leave it at that. They're not super hard to... The thing is, with an animal like a crow that's all black, you gotta start with, like, a base tone instead of with their, like, you have to start with a little bit of a lighter color and work down. So, like, I like his black... I like that his beak is a little darker on his body, but I might need to darken the body a little more to make it look more black instead of gray, but I want to put the shading down first and see if it needs it. Because it might not need to be darkened once I put shadows on. It depends. It'll depend. and... I wouldn't say it's the hardest thing I've ever had to color, because you just bump the shadows up a little bit and you just pretend like they're not black. Like, you just make them a dark gray instead. Is anybody really ready for the break to be over? Did anybody have a longer break for Thanksgiving that's now ending? I'm not looking forward to going back to work tomorrow. I like my job, but I've enjoyed the past couple of days being able to just hang out with you guys. I do not have Christmas lights up because I have nowhere to put up Christmas lights. However, St. Louis is very big on Christmas lights, so there are more than enough... I was about to describe neighborhood Christmas lights or lights that are not mine as wild Christmas lights. Like, as in, there's more than enough wild Christmas lights to go around, so, guess that's a new adjective that I just made up. Wild Christmas lights. Yeah, a wild Christmas light has appeared. Yeah, you know, the kind of Christmas lights you find in the wild. AKA, of course, places that are not my house. Yeah, don't set your Christmas lights loose. I'm sorry you had such a rough Thanksgiving, dude. Hopefully things are a little better now. At least for you, the holiday's over, right? They both have pants. This guy's got brown pants, and this guy has other pants with leg guards. I'm gonna adjust them. Oh. More brown. Well, let's put our adjustment layer on there. Let's get that settled up. The funniest story I always hear about real trees is all the stories I hear about people who got a real tree that had praying mantis eggs inside of it. I think I've heard of at least 4 separate people who had praying mantises in their Christmas tree, and it always makes me laugh. Because you can't kill them, so what do you do with them? You now have thousands of baby praying mantises in your house. Congratulations. You are now a mom. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. Perfectly, you know, fake tree is perfectly fine. Fake tree does its job. We have the ghetto Christmas tree at my mom's house. I don't know why we call it that. Well, I know why we call it that. I feel like we should come up with a better word that's, like, not as offensive, but, like, It's this really old, shitty tree that we've had for, like, our entire life. Like, I don't even know how long my mom's had it, but it's like this, like, instead of the pine needle, like, the needles, quote-unquote, on it, the needles on it, instead of them being plastic, they're, like, paper, and since the paper's so old, the tree's, like, falling apart, and it's this really gross, like, light blue color now, and it's so funny. Like, it's such a shitty-looking tree, and we love it. I don't know. I was always told it was illegal to kill a praying mantis. I heard it was against the law. Maybe it was something stupid I heard on the internet, but that was always what I heard. You know what? He doesn't have a... Oh no, he does have a strap across the belt. This one got it wrong, I think you said. Right. No, this one's across his neck. I imagine you guys probably have a pretty limited supply of real Christmas trees out there too, right? There's probably not that much opportunity to find real trees in Australia. Does the crow have the strap across his chest? I drew it in here for some reason, and now I don't remember if you asked me to do that or not. I think he does, and I think I just got confused. I feel like you told me one of these drawings got it wrong. It's funny because every night you guys come in here and your usernames are a different color, and like Mage Winters is always that light blue, and Briar's always green. Scarecrow's usually purple, and Nugget's usually orange, but like Stop Sign, your color changes every night you come in here, and I love it. So he doesn't have this one across his middle. Okay. I don't know why I put that in there. Unless you like it, I can leave it. I don't know, sometimes stop signs like light yellow. Like sometimes you're like a lime green, sometimes you're dark blue. You are special. You're changing your colors all over the place. That's on the wrong layer. Gotcha. Well, it seems like in both of these references you gave me, he does not have the straps on his, stomach, so I'm going to not put them there. What was your strange thought? Share with the class. I want to lighten this color just a smidge. By the way, Majors, your commission's on the chopping block for next week. Isn't that a Final Fantasy character or something? Or something random like that? That's a good question. I actually don't know. What's tomorrow? Monday? So Monday is, I forgot to post the schedule. I'm gonna have to start posting the schedule on Saturday or something, because, now I've added Sunday and it's confusing. I'm gonna have to start finding another day to post the schedule. What color tongues do they have? Are they black? I guess he can stay the way he is. Yo, by the way, if anybody ever, like, tried to get me to do fan art through commission, I would charge you out the ass to draw that character. Like, if you present me with a character that looks like that, I will charge you a shit ton of money to draw that character. Just putting that out there. Don't commission me to draw a character with that many straps. I will not draw them. You will pay for that commission for the rest of your life. I don't even usually take fan art commissions, I'm just saying. Yeah, dude, once you can do it, you don't have to have a PayPal. You just gotta have some way to pay online for stuff. If you figure it out, let me know, cause I got you. You see, you say I know what that means, and I do know what that means, but also, I haven't even finished the commission that I started for you. I barely even started that commission, and you already want to throw more money at me for more art? You guys are crazy. I love it, but you're also crazy. I love that you love my art so much that you will throw money at me, but I need a minute. Well, you have plenty of time. You have tons of time. Think of ideas. Don't you worry. I'm still going to be struggling to fit some commissions in during the week, so... Like, I'm gonna try to get some of these done at work on my lunch breaks, but I don't know what kind of... Because my boss comes back on Monday, so... And tomorrow's gonna be weird. I was supposed to keep an eye out... Well, so I was supposed to keep an eye out over the weekend for some, One of our animation studios we use was supposed to upload some stuff for us over the break, and I forgot to check on Friday, but I checked this morning, and the folders don't look any different, so... I don't know if something got messed up with the server, or if, like... It doesn't show up correctly from my house, or what, but it doesn't matter that I didn't do it on Friday, because it didn't happen at all, so... I'm about due for another giveaway type deal, so maybe that'll help you get something. Stop sign. I've done a couple giveaways to try to generate some interest, but lately I haven't had time, so I just haven't. I was gonna do one for 500 followers on Tumblr, and I didn't realize this first document opened, and I got really confused. So I just didn't do another giveaway, because I didn't really have the time to work on any giveaway pieces. I like doing giveaways for you guys because it gives you a chance to get art for free, but I just didn't have time this last milestone, so... Maybe once this crowd of commissions are done, we'll think about it. But, anyways... Do a raffle. That is a possibility. Not look quite the like puke color, and I kind of don't like it. This, that other commission's one of those ones that looks good because of the shading and nothing else. Better. Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna adjust it a little bit, but then I wasn't really sure where to go with it, so... I just wanted to get it out of the, you know, the brown a little bit, out of that... Because this color here, this you can't see it because my brush is 300 pixels tall. This, yeah, like, on his wing there, it's one of those colors that looks better because it's next to this reddish color. So, you know, that happened. This break was good for relaxing and sleeping in, but... I did not get much done. One of those didn't need to be colored in. Yeah. Gotta use a little of both. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can't burn yourself out. Nothing, absolutely nothing will get done if you burn yourself out. I have learned that the hard way. Sometimes, even if you don't really have the time to, you just have to stop and step away and look at it with fresh eyes. And even if it's just in a couple of minutes, you step away, get some fresh air, come back to it. Even that's better than smashing your head against a wall looking for an answer. You know, that happens all the time at work. I'm not a really confident writer, so whenever they ask me to do scripts for products, I don't panic so much as I don't know what I'm doing. And, you know, sometimes if I can't come up with an idea for a certain thing, I just need to stop, take a step back, you know, maybe go work on some other art things I have to, you know, if I have to do any art things, and then come back to it in a couple minutes and just, you know, look at it again, you know, see what's going on in a little bit. You like his fabulous pink shorts? Hold up. That pattern doesn't go all the way up. Animal Crossing? Dubstep Animal Crossing? No, this is that Elements thing. I don't know why I thought this was Animal Crossing. It had like that little weird bell sound to it, so... I don't even know what an Elebit is. I like the music. But I've never heard of this game. I see some of you guys have been working on some world building stuff over the weekend. Makes me want to work on my stuff again. Actually settle down and write some shit. Everybody's talking about their characters and doing character sheets and... It was an early Wii game. Wikipedia describes Elobits as an action first-person shooter, but it's a bit misleading, even if it's technically correct. Interesting. That's good to know. I was thinking I might formulate some questions of things we could talk about, world building wise, and then maybe one day next week we could just have like world building night and we could just all talk about our shit. But that might be fun. I don't have anything really specific off the top of my head to talk about though. But the nights where we all hang out and talk about world building is fun. Unrelated note, Rachel has some excellent D&D stories. That's vaguely related. I saw a post on Tumblr a couple weeks ago that was like, you know, if you see this text post, stop everything that you're doing, drop everything, and write one line for your book, for your webcomic, for your whatever you're working on. Write one sentence. And then go back to whatever it was you were doing. And it was like, anytime you see somebody reblog this post, do it. I thought that was kind of an interesting concept. Like, what if, like, once an hour you just stop and do, you know, stop whatever you're doing and just write one sentence, especially if you're stuck, you know? Or for art, you could even do, like, you know, go sketch one thing. Or write down a one thing. That was interesting. So his hands are kind of like... This is that song the other night that I confused for something from Skyward Sword. It sounds just a little bit like the opening theme. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Doesn't it sound a little bit like the title theme for Skyward Sword? It's not exactly the same, but I think it's similar enough that, like, probably see how I got it mixed up. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know, it's not even like the tone of it, it's just the melody sounds similar. I mean, it's still very Kirby, you know, it's definitely not. Maybe I'm just hallucinating, because now that I'm trying to think of the other title theme, it's not the same, but... Hold up. Let me look it up. See you later. No, I guess it isn't. I guess it's nothing like it. It made me think of it, I guess. Interesting. Alright, well. I've just lost my mind. Don't worry about it. Yo, the Ballad of Goddess is awesome. It's a great song. I also love that it's Zelda's Lullaby backwards. I just think that's such a creative way to do it. Maybe one of these nights, I was kind of thinking about doing it anyway, but maybe one of these nights we could do, like... What is this object I have here? Maybe one of these nights what I could do is, like, work on the map a little bit. I would need to, like, I would need to build more of the, like, the races first, because I don't know where everything goes yet, but maybe I could work on that a little bit. That might help you guys out if you want to map build with me, but... You're still fleshing yours out, too. Yours isn't quite as done as mine is, so... You know, you're still figuring everything out. There's not much to say, I think. I mean, you have little bits and pieces, but... You'll start being better at talking about it once you've figured out more things, and it's less forced. Even now, if you asked me stuff about the Noldaru, I wouldn't have any answers for you, because I don't know anything about it. I don't really have a surefire method of how to work on a map, to be honest. It's more or less like I need this location to be next to this location, and I need this thing to be next to this thing, and that's about all I got. See you later. See you later, stop sign. That's certainly an interesting way to approach it. That would probably produce some pretty interesting characters also. I happen to start the other way around, but it would be kind of neat to just have a map and go, okay, who's gonna live in this area, who's gonna live in this area, and why, you know, how is their culture formed based on that environment, whereas, like, Nugget and I are doing it the opposite way, and I don't know about Briar, but... You know, we're doing it kind of the opposite, where we've selected our races and now we're trying to build the environment around them. You know, what was the environment like now versus back then to make it what it is now, and so there's a lot more questions, I think. And you're right, Nugget. Yeah, anytime people want to know something about the world, it's always something I've never thought about, or, you know, don't have an answer for yet, or it's not an answer I've fully committed to. It always seems like people want to know the thing that I don't know anything about yet. It's certainly a good way to approach it, and it probably comes up with some very unique results. It helps if your races have a really specific style to them, like a look that they all share. Like for example, Jadoa are the most fleshed out right now, so they're the ones I have the most information about. But Jadoa have a very bright, colorful style, and so I referenced, because I referenced real world cultures when I was creating my stuff. You know, Jadoa are, you know, very obviously and primarily based off of ancient Egypt, but they also have influences from, like, India and, you know, around the Middle East, because they have lots of intricate pattern and these beautiful, you know, patterns and embroideries, and I wanted to include that in the Jadoa culture also. You know, some of their cultural things I chose from, you know, real life religions. I looked up different, I'm trying to remember which religion specifically I looked at, but like a lot of their customs I grabbed from, you gotta find like real world things that you think might fit them and adapt that to what you need. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not saying that that's like the end all be all and that's always how you do it, you know, it's just a... Well, what you could do for yours then is like backtrack and think about like what did their, because they're very futuristic now, so like well, you can start by googling like different Google different historic art, like type in like art styles from around the world or like art styles from history and look at the different eras of art. And not necessarily because your characters are so futuristic, it's not like you're gonna look at like Mesopotamian sculpture and be like, oh, that's their sculpture, that's what their sculpture's gonna look like. But if you look at like the shapes, here, actually we'll even do that. Not even gonna try to spell that. I'm not gonna pretend like I know how to spell that. So like, maybe you look up, you know, historic art and you look at something like this and you think, I'm talking out of my ass because I know nothing about the Johorti, but maybe you look at this and you go, oh yeah, the Johorti would want to draw themselves, this is something I use for the Jadoa actually, the Johorti would want to draw themselves in profile because they have that long snout, and so they think they look best when they are from the side. And because of that, all their art's very flat. So then you might incorporate this into their future look. So maybe instead of their buildings being all sleek and white like most people think futuristic would be, maybe the buildings have like tile on them that's, you know, I don't know, maybe the tiles are, you know, not photosynthetic, like solar powered tiles. So maybe all their buildings have this intricate tile with some, you know, shapes and stuff on them. Something like that, you know. Maybe not necessarily that, but if you just look up, like, you know, art from history, and then say you like the look of, I don't know, say you like the look of this for some reason. So say this speaks to you, you think, you know, maybe Johorti would have really simple style like that. Figure out what era this comes from and look up this artist and their things. You know, something like that. You gotta kind of try to take the idea and put it into your own words. Especially since your characters are so futuristic, you can't just look at an art style and say, you know, that's the one. Which is, you know, perhaps a good thing. You know, that was the thing I chose for the Jadoa, was that like all Egyptian like all the Egyptian like scroll work and everything, all their sculptures, they're all drawn from the side. And it's like forced perspective. You know, no matter what pose they're in, you know, all the legs are always drawn the same way, and so they kind of exaggerate their anatomy in order to fit the character into that particular pose. And I imagine that the Judoa would want to draw themselves like that because their faces are so, their profile is so much more interesting than straight on. So I imagine that they would always draw themselves in profile, even if it's not, like, physically accurate. You know, if it's not, even if it's not in perspective the right way, that they would probably do that. That was actually something, and maybe, you know, looking back at my college experience, I wish I would have taken it more seriously, was the art history we learned. I tried my best, and my best was not very good because I was so stressed out about everything, but, I wish I would have paid more attention in art history because of how many streets? That small. I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention in art history, just because I feel like I would know even more than I already do. Like I could have learned so much more if I had just paid attention. You are correct. There was also a shit ton of stuff going on in that classroom. She expected us to learn a lot of stuff. To be fair, also, though, she was a great teacher. Like, I think what little I did retain from that class was very heavily dependent on J-spawns. I think I would not have, I don't think I would have retained what I did if not for her. I think the only thing that definitely 100% stuck with me was, Rococo. And, specificity. Which is a real word. I'm gonna clean these up in a second. I just need to get them down first. They don't need to be quite so thick and noticeable. I just need to get them in line before I go cleaning them up. It's a good thing you find interesting history interesting, because it's very useful to know actual history when you're building fake history. Yeah, my information retention is swiftly disappearing also. I'm very easily distracted. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that I have a really hard time paying attention to history stuff if I have to remember the dates. I'm so bad at dates. Right layer, I thought I did that on the wrong layer for a second. I was gonna be real worried about that. Yeah, we had this this teacher in college, and her favorite word for some reason was like specificity, and she just used it anywhere she could use it. Even if it was like if she just wanted to use the word specific, she would say that instead. It was hilarious. She also pronounced the, obviously I'm gonna pronounce it wrong now. Rococo art movement, she pronounced it Rocococo. She put, like, way too many syllables in it. It was great. She was actually super nice. I always kind of felt bad that we made such fun of her because she was so sweet. We couldn't take her, it was so hard to take her seriously, you know? Yeah, and it was so obvious that she had no idea what she was doing, and I felt so bad for her sometimes, but we're also asshole college kids, so, you know, what can you do, I guess? Dates are super hard, especially when you're given, like, 4,000 different, pieces of artwork to look at, and they expect you to know the dates of when each one of them was painted. She was also super short, by the way. She was shorter than me. Oh, absolutely, yeah. She would have been much better in a different field in general. Poor lady. Listen, college kids are not nice, okay? We are not a nice breed. Students were very cruel to her, I think. But Rocococo is still the funniest thing I've ever heard, so... You are not wrong. Okay, birds. Beautiful. I also just realized I completely forgot the top of the owl's backpack. So, un momento, por favor. I'll fix that momentarily. Can we please, like, grab an actual... Yeah, thanks. Let's grab a stylus here. Let's go. Backpack. Done. Beautiful. Not the history eraser. Stop that. I love this guy's pants. They're such a nice color. Okay. How do they look, Direcrow? Looking good so far? Tackle that background in a minute. Sweet. Alright. I am gonna take a quick BRB to go get a glass of water because it is 8,000 degrees in this room for some reason, and then I will be right back. Give me one moment. Okay, well, I know why it's about 800 degrees in here. The door to my back closet that has the water heater in it is open, so that explains that dilemma. Putting this back on. I finally found a frozen pizza at my my local grocery store that does not make my mouth taste like garlic for the rest of my existence, so that was a nice surprise. I have a really hard time with tomatoes, so I just don't eat pizza with tomato sauce, and the only white pizzas they have at the store, like, it's either like a 4-cheese pizza that actually has sneaky tomato sauce underneath, or it's like a white pizza that's like 90% garlic. And there was this one by a brand called California Pizza, and it was so good, but it had so much garlic on it that your mouth would just burn from the garlic for like 3 days. You could taste nothing but garlic for hours. And I got one by Newman's Own. I don't know if you guys have that. If any of you guys have that where you live, but that one actually tasted like a reasonable pizza. I love me some garlic, but that was way too much garlic. And it's so much cheaper to buy the pizzas at the grocery store than it is to order Domino's or something. Delivery pizza is actually super expensive. And it's super greasy. Like, I've noticed that the grocery store pizzas aren't nearly as greasy. I know that felt random, but I went out to the kitchen to get water and I saw my pizza box and I thought I was going to tell them about that because that was something interesting that happened to me today. Fucking love pizza. The quest to get to healthier eating begins again tomorrow, though, because I had one hell of a cheat weekend. We will be getting promptly back on track with that situation. It was Thanksgiving. I don't know what you guys expect from me. Oh, that doesn't work because that's on a different layer. Well. Axolotl niblets. Something like that. I keep frozen fruit in my freezer for smoothies for breakfast, and that works out really well because if I got fresh fruit, I would never eat it fast enough. And then I try to just do a ton of vegetables. Vegetables, see, I used to buy frozen vegetables because I didn't think I'd ever use them, the fresh ones, fast enough. But, like, baby carrots last forever. So I just stock up on baby carrots, and, like, peppers last forever, broccoli lasts forever. Maybe not necessarily forever, but they last a pretty long time, at least a lot longer than I thought they would. And I buy vegetables a lot, though. That's the problem. I still end up buying I buy groceries a lot more often than I think if I were buying not fresh, I would not buy nearly as much as I do. I try to use the vegetables as much together as I can, too. Like, I won't just do, like, if I've made chicken for dinner or something, I won't just do broccoli. I'll do, like if I did, one of the things I've been making lately is, I just grill I grill chicken breast on my George Foreman grill, and I just pile as much vegetables around the chicken breast as I can. Like, mushrooms, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower if I have it, peppers. I just pile as much stuff around the chicken as will fit around the chicken, and just close the lid. And it grills the vegetables really nice, and they get nice and tender cooking next to the chicken. And, it's just like a quick meal that takes like 20 minutes. It takes less than 20 minutes. It takes like 5 minutes because the chicken doesn't need that long on the George Foreman grill. Anything baked takes a little longer. I have red potatoes. A couple red potatoes for baking, but they take like 30 minutes and it takes forever. It takes 30 to 45 minutes to properly cook a potato in the convection oven. Frozen vegetables are just as good as not frozen, though, or as fresh, though. I've even heard people say in some cases they're better for you because they're flash frozen. They maintain their nutrients for a little bit longer because they're like closer. I guess because they decay slower when they're frozen or something, so they're closer to their original nutrients when they're frozen. So it's interesting. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but I think as long as you're getting vegetables, I think it's something, Hey, that works too. Getting, That's fair enough. Acro, you say that like I've thought about it. I will get back to you as soon as I know what games I picked for next week. I gotta start doing the schedule on a different day though, because kind of forgot Saturday, or yeah, Sunday goes at the beginning. Oh, I need a color palette. That is certainly a possibility. I like my couple days of games, though. It's only 2 days of the week. Take a little breather from all the art. Many choices. you like to load, please? Okay. I don't want to go dark and gloomy. I want it to kind of be like a sunny path. I thought about it. Yeah. I'm not a particularly strong writer, so I might have to hire somebody to like take my world and everything that I've done with it and make it into something, or at least help me build something out of it. 'Cause I'm not very confident in my writing abilities. I'm not very good at writing conflicts, and so I'd probably need some assistance from another artist to do that, but yeah, I've thought about doing, like, webcomics or, like, maybe even, like, short children's books. Like, or children's style books, I don't know. I'd thought about it. Yeah, Nugget, maybe they have, like, maybe talk about if they have, like, particular animals that are, like... one thing that's really fun to talk about is invasive species. Maybe think about if there's, like, a pest creature that lives in the cities. Like, you know, like, along the lines of, like, a rat or a pigeon or something, but, like, design what that might look like in your world, maybe? Like in New York City, starlings are an invasive species. They're a super common bird, but they don't have any natural predators in New York City, so because they're not originally from New York, so they're sort of a pest problem. Sounds like you've been fucking up some worlds lately. Oh, jeez. Photoshop does this weird thing where if I don't crop the edges out, it, like, leaves remnants of whatever's outside the canvas along the edges. I don't even know if you guys can see it, I noticed. Not sold on that grass color. Better, and then the road doesn't necessarily need to color, it can be gray. I was almost thinking I wanted to make it like stone. There. Sort of like the dirt path now. Oh, there's our Binding of Isaac. Either gotta be darker or lighter than the grass, and I gotta pick one. How you feeling on that, Dire Crow? Okay. Well, it's getting about time for me to close down for the night, so, I think I'm gonna leave it at this for now. We'll come back to this another day. I'm gonna stick all this stuff in my Dropbox and take it to work with me and see if I can get it finished during, some of it at least started during lunch. I appreciate, I know it's kind of fun for you guys to watch me work, but I do appreciate you guys being patient with me taking so long. Kind of hard to just work in small chunks like that, but I'm just so burnt out at work that it affects this a little bit. So, but I like being able to sit down and chat with you guys while I do it. It makes it much more interesting. So I'm gonna shut down for now and get ready for bed. It'll take me 5 minutes to finish saying goodnight to you guys anyway. So Yeah. So I will be back tomorrow for games. I don't know what yet. I will post a schedule sometime in the morning. Jesus, Dire Crow. Well, I'll post up a schedule. Still Dire Crow. That's a long time to wait. Jesus. I'll figure out what we're playing tomorrow and post it up on all my social media. I'll put it in the Discord too. I might just make a channel on the Discord for kind of like how the rules tab. Like I'll just post the schedule. We'll figure out what we're doing tomorrow. I don't know. I haven't decided. And then Tuesday is back to art. So, but end on that Binding of Isaac. It keeps coming back. So with that, I'm gonna head to bed, you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out with me as usual. Really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Alright, have a good night, and if you guys are going back to class tomorrow morning, since it's a Monday, you know, have fun doing that. But just happy Monday. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, bye!